Yo, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching later. Welcome to the group call. I promise it's going to be a great one because we're going to dive into breaking out of a stalemate. When things in life become redundant, when they seem to just be going by and you're kind of missing the excitement, if you will. How do you get that excitement back in your life? Well, the first thing, if you're just going through the motions on things, yeah, it's gonna get drab, it's gonna get boring because you're not pushing yourself to the next level. You have nothing to be excited about because you're going through the motions in the same place. Now, Rob, you're giving me life advice. I'm here for fitness. I know this ties in because if you're going to the gym and going through the motions, do you really expect to make gains? No, dude, you're not going to. In order to make gains, in order to add muscle, in order to break plateaus, in order to get bigger, stronger, faster, all the things that we spend the time that we go to the gym and spend the time in the gym for, we have to continuously add new stresses that our body has to adapt to. What does that mean for us in the realm of lifting? We have to add more weight. We have to go heavy. We have to risk it. We have to take risks. We have to be willing to fail on a lift. And if it's a safe lift, like a machine lift, you definitely should be ready to go in there and see what your point of failure is. And I'll propose to you this: if you're on a barbell lift, a squat, a bench press, something that seems like there's a little more risk involved, truth is, yes, there is a little bit more risk involved, but you're going to be just fine. You'll dismount from the failure just fine. I'm assuming you have a will to survive. If you have a will to survive, if you fail on a bench press, you're going to figure out how to get out from under it. I mean, a couple quick tips on that: don't put collars on the bench press so you can drop it. Don't put collars on the squat so you can drop it, or be in a position to where you can throw it back. Don't be doing Smith machine squats. Smith machine squats can only go straight down to where you're coming from. You can't throw it off your back. So you need to be finding where you can fail. You need to push yourself beyond failure. And virtually every time you step in the gym, you need to be flirting with failure. Some of y'all have heard me say this before. When I go into the gym, it's like I it, I'll get to my top set, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can kill myself with this set. I'm still alive. I'm still here. And if you're afraid of injury, you're not going to be it. You're not, if you're afraid of injury and you're playing it safe, you're not willing to take the risks and push yourself into Gainesville, you're going to be stagnant. You're going to plateau. You're not going to continue to push into your vision of yourself. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be scary. You're going to be just fine. And you can trust me on this because I've been through it. Joel's been through it. Kyle's been through it. Andrew's been through it. All these guys, like I have example after example of people willing to push themselves to an extreme degree with heavy, scary weight, with amount of reps. You know, if we're backing off the weight and using an amount of reps, that's like, why am I doing this? This is killing me. We have example after example of people that do that, and you know what? They're just fine. They're all just fine. When we get into it, the injuries that come around in this program are from other things. Like, we're usually working around injuries that come up from outside activities, from other passions that we have. Why are you willing to risk it with the other passions, but not in the gym? I know people that have been taken out. They've been taken out of weightlifting because of how they got out of bed and what happened to their hand. There's Life is a risk. You can hurt yourself and take yourself out of the game at any given moment. Don't be afraid to push yourself in the gym. Don't be afraid to take those risks in the gym. In fact, I encourage it. We need to develop that ability to push through our own limitations. And we can only do that by challenging ourselves. And if you're scared in other areas of your life, if you're not willing to push in other areas of your life, this is a great area to where we can push through and develop that skill, callous our mentality. So in business and relationships and making approaches to potential dates, we can get over that fear as well. So we we here's what's going to happen when you start pushing yourself. Here's what's going to happen. You break through, you hit a new PR, you figure out how strong you are. And I say figure it out because most people aren't aware of how strong they are. They aren't aware of how far they can push themselves physically. They aren't aware of how tough they really are. And so when that's the case, and you're stuck, you're in limbo, life gets drab. You're going through the motions. Why are you continuing to go through the motions? Nothing's changing. It's just another hour at the gym. Why am I taking this time away from my family, away from my work, away from myself? You're robbing time from yourself if you're not pushing it hard at the gym. So you need to be willing to put it out on the line and risk it. Risk injury. So what, dude? It's not we're not playing on a level that we're going to get injured, or we don't have workouts in here to where we're going to get injured on a level that we can't recover from. So be willing to go out there and hurt yourself. You probably won't. When I played football, the old saying is, if you want to be a hard hitter, you have to be willing to get hit. Otherwise, you're playing it safe all the time. It's the same thing with the gym. It's the same thing with life. And when you finally break through your own self-limitations, it's going to change your entire behavior, your outlook on life. People are going to notice a difference with you, the people that are closest to you. I like to put it like this, when I do something for myself that's scary, but it's at the same time has a level of excitement towards it, and I get out of my rut, when I will myself out of my rut by doing something that I was afraid to do, but I knew I had a calling to do it, I finally broke through my limitation. Life becomes life again. You start imagining in color again. The color comes back into your vision, and you're creating with your mind, and you're more joyful to be around. And you carry that attitude of being able to push through. And this goes to my seasoned guys too. I know a lot of people in here are pushing it. They are finding a way to break through their plateaus. They're not afraid of putting more weight on the bar. There's a lot of guys in here that are like that. Well, you know what? Push it harder. Break that next level. Break that next limitation. You've maxed out on your strength. Great. After you've done that primary heavy lift, slow down the tempo on the accessories and see how much pain you can take. How badly can you make it burn? How hard in the paint can you go? You're only competing with yourself, and this is a matter of self integrity, because no one there is watching you. You can check it off. You can put in more reps. You can put in that it was a hard workout without anybody knowing the difference. This is a matter of who you're being with yourself, and are you being exactly who you feel called to be in the area of your fitness? And I promise you, you start pushing harder here, you start pushing harder with the weights and with the accessory lifts, and you start dialing in the diet tighter. The other things that come up in life, you're going to push through on those too. This is the perfect vehicle for that. It's funny, it's funny. I'm finally, like, my hands and my wrists and my back and my hips, like, after years of going back and forth between injuries, I'm finally in a place to where I can really go after it with the weights and really get heavy. And dude, it's just lit the most crazy. That's what's inspiring me to talk to you about this right now. It's just lit the most crazy fire under me. I'm so excited about my future prospects, and it's been a months long process of working my ass off in the gym to get back to where I was before I came upon these series of like small ailments that would just prevent me from squatting 400 pounds. And so, with that being said, with all of what I said in mind, it, it I'm just going to bring it right back to you. Are you in integrity with yourself in this realm? Are you really pushing yourself as hard as you can? Are you taking risks on the amount of weight that you're doing? Are you finding out how much you can make it burn on the accessories? And you know what? If the answer to that is yes, good, great, bravo. That's awesome. See if you can dig deeper. See if you can push it further. Why not? What do we have to lose? Because time and time again, I've been had it proven to me in life that we're capable of so much more than we give ourselves credit for. And I see that with my own wife, like the idea that freaking Erica is out there running 100-mile races through Big Bear at elevation. That is insane. Dude, if my wife can do that, you can push yourself for an hour in the gym. You can see how hard you can make it burn on your accessory lifts. You can add some weight and no longer be fearful of risking injury. And you know what? If you do get a little injury, man, I'd rather have you going so hard that you do get a little injury than not making any gains at all. I'm serious. I'd rather see you guys pushing and starting businesses that fail and completely flop time and time again than never trying. And I'd rather see that. I'd rather see you guys take on massive failure until you find success than being too afraid to try. And it comes back to our behavior in the weight room. So don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to add weight. Go in there, put on the weight, see how strong you can get. Find out how strong you are. Flirt with failure on a regular basis. After that primary lift, that compound lift, and we're moving into the accessories, see how hard you can make it burn. How far can you go into that pain cave of an accessory lift? Like if that we'll just say for an example, like an overhead press is the compound. How far, like really, how far can you take the lateral raise and bring that shoulder burn into play? Like how far can you push it? How far can you take it? I'm telling you right now, it's farther than you think. Go find it. Go find how far you can take it. Do that for a while and see how you feel about your life after that. It's going to break you right through any plateaus. It's going to add color back to your imagination. It's going to bring the life back to life. We're going to break out of the routine, any stagnation, and this is the vehicle to do it. It's an hour a day. You're going to feel better because of it. You're going to make more gains because of it. And let's just keep ripping. And thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to me rant, guys. I appreciate that. With that, I'm going to start with Joel. Joel, what's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm all right. How are you?
Great. I'm doing great.
Let's see here.
I just quit my job.
Quit your job?
Not really. I left my old company at Century 21 where I was at for like 10 years. And I went to a new like up and coming brokerage that I'm really excited about but they don't have an office around here. So I rented an office. I just got done signing a lease for an office down the street. I'm really excited about it.
Oh, nice. It's
Yeah,
a big
so we'll
move.
see. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. What's going on
Uh,
with you?
oh man. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been hitting any personal bests lately, with the lifts, which is, I don't know, disappointing, but I've also been working on the form, going all the way down on the dumbbell bench press, like you said. So it's, at least I'm improving in that way.
That's a phenomenal improvement. And how does it feel? What's the difference feel like?
I mean, it's definitely harder, that's for sure.
Are you a little more sore too?
Yeah, so let's see, today was the first day with the dumbbell bench. I did the same thing on the squat and squatted less and um yeah, it felt harder. I was sore the next day. But just well, yeah, and I don't know if that was my first time with the weightlifting belt too. And I don't know if I was using it right and getting the benefit and just going down was still harder if I wasn't doing it right.
Okay, so what did it where on your abdomen did you place the weightlifting belt? This is good. Everybody can learn from this because the weightlifting belt eventually becomes a necessity in my opinion. And oftentimes I see people using it incorrectly.
Yeah, I mean I put it right like below the rib cage.
Below the rib cage, so literally on your abdomen, like right here.
Right.
Like centered on your belly button,
Yep.
almost. Yeah. Okay. So what I want you to go on, and so how tight was the belt?
I was messing around with that some, changing it up, but I don't know. I got it to where it was tight enough that I could, breathe fine, but then really tense against it, which I think is the right way to go about it, right?
That's exactly right. You want to against it is exactly right. Okay. Um, and could you feel a difference?
So I don't know. It felt like maybe one or two times I could, but then yeah, not every time.
Okay. And so did you have your breath, your core braced with your breath inhaled for the duration of the rep?
Yeah, that was the weird part. I think I did some of the time and didn't some of the time.
Okay. Which is fine, which is all good because you're learning and we're bringing it in at a perfect point for you. Couple pointers with the belt is it sits higher than you would think. Like the bottom rung of the belt should be just below or just above your belly button. So the bottom of the belt should be just above your belly button. It should be going around the bottom, like or the bottom of your rib cage.
Okay.
Especially in it should be tight. It should be tight enough to where you can brace against it. I know if I'm getting really heavy, I'll tighten it up even a little bit more. It can constrict your breathing a bit, but that's okay. Um, because when we're doing, 2, 3, 4 reps, we're gonna gas out regardless, and it's like you can't sit there at the top continuing to breathe because now we're hitting muscle fatigue. So it's just like deep breath out, deep breath in, fully hold that, brace against it, and go down and pop up. I promise that you do those couple things, you're gonna feel how that belt brace pops against you. If you're doing if you're doing reps to where and you're like breathing while you're doing the reps on the squat per se, if you're really heavy and you're breathing without that belt, you're putting your back at a little bit of risk. There's a little bit of risk involved. I'd rather have you like just gas out, fail, and abandon the weight than trying to breathe through it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, but and really focus on tensing that out. And it sounds like you just need to bring it a little bit higher. When you bring it higher, your ribs don't have the same kind of give as your center abdomen as your stomach does, and so it will govern how tight you can go, and it should be tight. It should be tight.
Okay. 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 So if you're saying your ribs are governing it, is the top of the belt always below the bottom of the ribs, or is it coming up on it a little bit?
The bottom of the belt is below the bottom. There will be a little bit of your ribs below the bottom of the belt. The top of the belt will be about right above you, right below your pecs.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let me give you a little demonstration.
A lot of people I see, they're wearing it around here, right above their belt line. Can you see me okay? Does this make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
You want that
yeah.
up here. You want it up here.
Okay. That
Like your
okay.
sternum in the center, almost.
Okay, yeah. So I was definitely getting that part wrong.
Good. It's a great place to get it wrong, and it's a great time to get it wrong because you're lifting heavy, but you're also on your way up. So like as you
Yeah.
continue to progress,
Okay. Yeah, cool.
how's the diet going? You still smashing ice cream 3 times a week on me?
um, still having ice cream once in a while. Um, I yes, eat it's I've been making some better meals at home, and when I have just a day where I'm just eating at home and that's all, and that's it goes pretty well. But yeah, it's eating out with family or friends or whatever, and then it doesn't go well now.
Not as big of a deal for you because you're on a reverse right now. So I'm not so worried about it. Getting the clean macros in majority of the time and lifting heavy is the priority for you. And it sounds like you're doing exactly like what we need to do. You're working on your form so we can advance your lifts and your strength even more and develop your physique even more. So
Mhm.
you're doing great, Joel. Keep crushing, man.
Thanks.
Any questions come up or any feedback or desires you care to share? I was thinking I was going to switch you up a little bit just to kind of break up the routine.
Okay.
Um,
No, I mean that sounds good. The only question was the weightlifting belt. So no, I think I'm good.
it's a great question, man. You people on the call and people that listen are going to get a lot from that. So I appreciate you bringing it up. You always come with good questions. Thank you for
Thanks.
that. Oh, yeah. All right, Joel. Take care, man. Need anything else, bro?
That's it. I'm all good. I'll
All
see you
right.
next time then.
Yeah, you will. Keep going for it.
All right.
Later, bro.
Later.